Pow wow, yo, yippee, yay, guys. Power number 36, and I'm super excited to be with you guys today. As always, we're going to dig down to love the community, then talk about what's happening on markets, and talk about some great updates on SwissBorg Network. As you know, my name is Cyrus Fazil. I'm the proud founder and CEO of SwissBorg, always here to serve you. And in today's edition, we're going to talk about an update with the Hero Score, with Benji, and obviously Aurélien talking about that, talk a little bit about Borg, and we will have another surprise, a guest, which will be our dear Danielle, talk about the Thematics and best of blockchains.
Hello, everyone. My name is Benji. I'm in the growth team, and I'll be helping Cyrus a little bit on this. I was starting with answering the question of the week. So the question of the week is by a user called Dutch Luce Xborg. I hope I didn't say your name too wrong, but I'm sure I did. Thank you for playing with Xborg, though. He's asking us if we really think that favor can overtake the social media that we know today. Mainly making a point over the not user-friendliness of, for example, not being able to connect his ledger or having to go from one chain to another to get to the NFT to get to level 2. And that's a very interesting conversation more than it is a question. It's, do we believe that a new social media can take down the massive ones that we know and we use too much today? And I'd like to go back and give you all a flashback to something that happens to me a lot. People talk to me about MySpace and say, you weren't around when MySpace was there. And that's true. I've never had a MySpace account because it just was dead by the time I had access to the internet. And it was taken over by Facebook and by Twitter and by all of these social media that we're using right now. But at the beginning, it was the biggest ever, and no one thought that it could go down. Everyone was friends with that Tom guy who had a strange profile picture, but it was extremely popular. But then someone came up with a better idea, with more people, with more innovation, more user friendliness. And then they updated that app and updated it. And it took millions and millions of dollars and hours from experts and people that were passionate about bringing the best social media apps. And these are the ones that we have on our phones, on our tablets, on our computers. They're mobile friendly, they're internet friendly, they're really almost perfect. And you think no one can take them down. It's like a little bit like IBM. But at the end of the day, there's always something that can be optimized. There's always a taxi business that can be Uberized. And at the end of the day, that's what SocialFi could bring. At the moment, it's not necessarily the most user-friendly, but it's at its infancy. It's comparable to if you could bring a $20 bill and give it straight to Mark Zuckerberg in his dorm while he was coding Facebook. At the very beginning, Facebook wasn't user-friendly. It wasn't the best app ever. It wasn't what we're using today. You couldn't do as many things as you can right now. And that's what favor is today. It's the infancy. And that's why it's an alpha opportunity. It's because you can get it before it becomes big. And if it does become big, if you had given these $20 to Mark Zuckerberg, then today he would have been pretty well off. And that's really the point. The conversation is, do you believe that social media can be improved? And if so, can it be improved by favor if enough people work on it diligently enough or not? If you believe so, then it could be a very interesting opportunity for you. If you believe not, then you probably should stay away, because we would be lying if we said that it wasn't a risk. But we have given all of the educational material necessary to really learn more about that opportunity. And you can find that on our blog, and definitely make an educated decision about what you want to do with your investments. But this is an alpha opportunity, and therefore it could go any direction and quite volatile too.
News of the week, G24 is the international crypto framework. That's more and more we're talking about, obviously, MiCA with Europe. But in general, every other country is now really establishing a clear framework of crypto, which is obviously something really good. There is a lot of speculation on the ETF. As you guys, Cathy Wook, ARK Invest files for her first spot, Ether and ETF. As you know, she's a big investor in Grayscale, and she's one of the really smart women that have been controlling the financial markets, venture and private equity. So she's really something to look at. And last but not least, we saw Sunday. I'm actually recording today on Monday because I'm going to FinTech Lee and Vaduz in very short minutes. And you've probably seen that there was a lot of things in the red and a lot of speculation that the fact that people are, the liquidators are going to have to sell all the positions of crypto. But what I could tell you what's already happening is there's a lot of OTC deals. So a lot of these tokens first, some of them are essentially not be able to sell because they have a lot of, for example, some are essentially like Solana tokens. I believe Nicolas, our CTO, told us that These tokens will only be fully unlocked in 2028. So there's still a lot of time and there's a cliff put in place, so they cannot sell it. And what I think is going to happen, and what I see what's happening, is a lot of OTC is going to buy these markets at a better price, essentially. So talking about the markets, as you guys know, we've been playing up and down with the 25,000, 27 range. We're still waiting for catalysts to move in either direction. September is usually not a great month for crypto, so let's see how, if this statistically will bring truth to this matter, but October will be a great one. Nevertheless, when I see, like, for example, on Sunday, things going down, what I'm doing is that I'm extra DCAing, right? So obviously I have DCA on a few tokens, but more importantly, what I am actually doing as well is that whenever I see these big, massive moves, so discounted prices, I go in and I buy more than my actual DCA. I'm not going to talk about Pegasus, but what I'm going to talk about is essentially, how do we get to be champion, to master wealth management? And there's a lot of things going on about how to create a masterclass, but before getting into that and talking about Pegasus, which is our really a investment club that we have at SwissBorg, I'm trying to pass on the same information to everyone. We know that we talked about this last episode, which is that there's market cycles, and these cycles move every 4 years. They create themselves and then they essentially recreate themselves, right? And we're now at the fourth cycle, we could say, or the third cycle. It depends if you think there was a cycle in 2010 to 2014. The important is how to time these cycles, how to invest properly, and how to essentially set yourself goals. And I think so this is the most important. It's not only to trade, but essentially, what is for you to be, I'm a winner in this game or not? What is your clear objective? Do you need to buy a car? Do you want to buy a house? Do you want to retire early? Do you want to have a pension for yourself when you are older? Do you want to invest in a program where she gives back to your children for their studies or for their adulthood? What are these big goals that you have? Write them right on a paper, and then try to figure out how much money do you need and when. And based on that, you can start building essentially your wealth, right? I think so this is the most important. There is risk in crypto, and you could, allocate in different ways that you could manage your risk in a better way. But the most important for me is to set these goals, because we often don't forget. We don't remember about doing these goals. And then when we're in the market and things are going crazy, then we start to be a bit, we drive ourselves a bit irrational because the market's irrational, and we get too emotional and we do crazy stuff. And then we wait until next cycle to correct this. If now you've been into this cycle once, twice, or 3 times, there's probably a good hygiene, a good way to train yourself to say, like, well, actually, if in 20 years I need whatever, 1 million Swiss francs, 1 million euros, 2 million, 10 million, whatever it is, or a few hundred thousands, you still have to plan essentially your wealth journey. And that's something that I would all like you to think right now, is what are the different criteria? When do you need that money? And for that, how can you create an investment plan that sticks to this? This is very important. It's extremely, extremely important. And then how you build your portfolio based on those investment goals that you want, right? For some of you are financial free, so it's wealth accumulation. And essentially what you need is probably a way to accumulate your wealth and never lose it. If you are on the other side, that you're in this way that you want to maybe quit your job, or when you work 50% of your time and just will live on dividends that you could get out of staking, well, if that's the case, well, then you really have to very well take a certain amount of risk to get to that position. And hopefully in the next cycle, then you'll be able to work less and, take care of whatever you think is the most important. I think so this is really something that I really hope that you get, not only members of Pegasus, but everyone. And right now, if we are in this early times before this bull run will happen in the next 6, 9, 12, 18 months, we know that this is where we should build our investment journey. This is where we have to build our positions. When Solana got to $18, I had a notification in the app and I said, boom, I want my entry price for Solana, because I believe that now that Solana has a big play, the everyone talking about EVM and Ethereum being the only asset, only L1 that enabled Web3 is a bit changing, right? With Aptos, with Sui, and with Solana gaining back a lot of traction. So what I'm saying is that, okay, if that is true, if that hypothesis is true, which I do believe now, I want a competitor to essentially Ethereum. And for that, I believe that Solana is a great one for multiple reasons, right? The traction, the technology, the applications built on it, the community, after all what they suffered so massively from reputation for FTX and everything, they're still building it. There's probably something right. And of course, our tech team, DeFi team, is really, really enthusiastic about Solana. So what I'm doing is building positions on Solana. And what I want here is simply to get in a price of average $20. My average price was entry point was between $22 and $23. And when I saw it at $18 on Sunday, because I got a notification, I'm like, oh, I'll double up right away my position. So say I had $100 there, I would buy another $100 to get into a $20 entry price. So right now I'm at $20 entry price. What I will do in the next round is focus on, okay, next period, I'll be at hopefully at $100. So that's 5x from now, okay? Whatever that time is. And I put a sell limit, not an order limit, but a notification of selling 20% of my assets of SOL. Like that, what I know is that if I get to that 5x, I sell 20%, then essentially the $200 that I invested now are reimbursed completely. And the whole upside is for me to sell, and it's just pure benefits, or even if it goes down, it'll still be pure benefits because I'll be able to reimburse my initial investment of 200. So hopefully that is a way that this could sum up to you guys, is again, creating your investment goals and then how do you create an investment journey. We'll talk about this more and more with concrete examples, but what I would love you guys to do again is to write your different investment goals. You could share it on Twitter, you're not, just keep it for yourself if you need to. And then essentially how you get to, if you have, let's say, 10,000 euros today, and you want 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, get to 200,000. Well, how do you get to that through these different cycles? How much do you need from this cycle to extract from the markets in order to reinvest it when we're in another 22 or 23 period, right? So let's say 26 or 27, whatever that is, be able to reinvest the whole benefits that you've been able to create in this current bull cycle. So I hope this guys enjoyed it, and will be much more doing going forward. Happy birthday to the three of you guys. Much love for the three of you. Romain Spender, happy birthday, joyeux anniversaire. Claire and Crypto, happy birthday to you. And again, thank you for the birthday wishes and the beautiful card. And last but not least, Yuri Narita, happy birthday for your 40th birthday. Thank you so much for following us, helping us. And I'm probably going to say it bad, but Otanjo bio me detto. I think so, that's it. Otanjo bio. I got it wrong. Well, you know it is. Happy birthday again, and wish you all the best to yourself in Japan and to your loved ones. Next community event happening this Wednesday in Fribourg, and we'll have Guardian of CHSB the same night. So looking forward for both of these events, one offline and one online. Announcement of the week, obviously the favor deal, but let's talk more about what has happened in 2023, which is crazy. From May, June, and July, and August, it was a very slow quarter, I would say, in terms of traction. But what a hell of a journey we went through, from the sold out the first alpha deal with SwissBorg to essentially to finally being able to have multi-chain in such a cool way to just pay less, be able to send your USDC, to send different protocols, having a safe way to finally be able to bridge most of these blockchains, which is amazing. We had the keynote in June, which was very cool. Finally, DCA at our fingertips in the best way possible. That is fiat to crypto, crypto to fiat, doing it in the best way possible for crypto to crypto, of course. Auto invests. We had Eigenlayer for the right way to earn with restaking, the coolest, hottest project currently on Ethereum. The golden week, obviously, with the launch of the Thematics, finally the first actively type of managed strategy that you guys could profit in, hopefully any type of markets. We had some chill between the summer, of course. We've added more change, such as Solana as multi-chain. We have talked about the Borg and how it's going to be changed. Talked about SwissBorg and partnered with Favor for an alpha deal. adding Google Pay at their fingertip, but as well Apple Pay, last but not least, more ways to do staking. And the great news is that there's more right now with Benji and our lovely guests.
Yes, Cyrus, thank you for that recap. It's true that all of the squads have been putting an enormous amount of work, and it's not over. Obviously, they're still working and they're back at it. We've got 4 people that are going to make appearances in the powwow to give some great news, and we're going to split them into 2 powwows. So we've got 2 people coming in this week, and we've got 2 coming up next week. Today, we're going to be talking about their hero score with Ivan, and we're going to be talking about Thematics with Danielle. And then next week, we'll talk about the bulk migration with Aurélien, and we'll talk about the alpha opportunities and the next earn opportunities with Domain. So stick around because these powwows have a lot of news. But without further ado, let's start with talking about Thematics and what's going to happen. And it's pretty cool. So Danielle, take it away.
Thank you so much, Benji. Indeed, today we have some very exciting news to tell you guys. And yeah, it's been a while since we've talked. I think the last time that I spoke in a powwow or in any kind of online forum was for the release of the Golden Thematic. And that was at the beginning of summer. Since then, we've worked way hard. And indeed, what I'd like to do before we go actually into the news of today, the one that you might already know and those that I'm about to reveal, I'd like to take just a little step back and understand, come back to first principles. I think it's a very important exercise to do every now and then. Understand from the mathematics side why this product exists, why we believe in it, and what it can actually do. What does it help you to achieve as an investor? I think it's not always clear. And if we have a couple of minutes today, I'd like to clarify it. I think when it comes to Thematics, the important thing to understand is that, first of all, it's not an ETF. An ETF typically just follows an index or certain amount of stocks or different assets in a completely agnostic manner. It allows you to diversify, which is fair enough and it's good proposition, but that's where it stops. An ETF is agnostic of the assets it has inside. If it follows, for instance, the S&P 500, whatever new asset enters or goes out of the S&P 500, well, the ETF will simply mirror that and reflect it in the ETF and track that change. A thematic goes much deeper, and that's when it gets interesting. Because a thematic not only does it allow you to diversify your risk and have a better risk management by not only investing in one asset, but in a whole trend or theme or narrative. Because what we know, Benji, is that in crypto in particular, 95% of traders, so almost every single trader, is worse off than if they would have just held Bitcoin over the long term. So 9 out of 10 traders, when they trade, they lose more than Bitcoin, or rather they gain less than Bitcoin. So just holding Bitcoin is better. So the best thing you can do when you actually want to expose yourself to different assets in crypto is to look at what you truly believe in. So that could be a trend like gaming. It could be a part of the whole ecosystem, like the blockchains. I believe that, decentralized finance is going to become huge in the next 10 years. Well, blockchains are the ones that are going to make that possible. So same way, like in a gold rush, you shouldn't buy and sell gold. You should buy and sell the shovels. Well, the blockchains are the shovels of crypto in that sense. But it's very hard to understand which blockchain might be the best. And so the best thing that the thematic allows you to do is to understand, is to diversify your positions in the best possible projects that represent that trend or that space. And moreover, be able to react in real time to changes in the industry. That's the key difference here as well, because the thematic is not agnostic to the assets it has inside. We have the SwissBorg investment team with the algorithms that spend the entire day looking at these assets and making sure that your thematic is allocated in the best possible way. Meaning that when a black swan event comes or a change in a protocol, more liquidity comes onto it, or like more tokens are released, a new project comes up, your thematic will automatically adapt to it. And you've seen it in the golden thematic, and you've seen it in the next ones that are going to come. So thematics is not only the clarification of your convictions in terms of investment, that I know in a very easy way what I'm investing in, but it also makes the abstraction of my emotions. As a human being, even if I believe that Bitcoin is going to be the future in terms of digital gold, and we're all going to have a Bitcoin-based financial standard in the future, I might not, unless I hold it forever, if I try and trade it, I will probably trade it wrong. I will hold it far too long. I'll ride it down the bear market. I'll buy too early in the bear market. It's going to be a mess. And the truth is, I've lost money with that in the past, and I've learned my lesson. So if you have instead an algorithm and a supporting financial team like in a golden thematic that looks at this without emotions then you can actually distinguish the noise from the signal and trade in a much more effective way. So that's really where the beauty of the block of Thematics comes into. And it's a big part of what we've been doing over the last 6 months, in particular this summer as well. The first 6 months have really been at improving what we call the platform of Thematics, which is the technology of Thematics, the ability for us to scale it, to implement reallocations like we now do in the gold thematic for every single thematic that's going to come. And to that end, we have very exciting news today, because not only have we released earlier today that the thematic fees have dropped by about 40%, which is incredible, and it's taken us a long time to get there. And we're very, very delighted about it because, we always try to give more value to our users and more value to our community members, and try and find the right middle ground between what is the value added by this product, and also a fair price for us to keep living and proliferating the business of SwissBorg. So right now, to give you a quick overview, Genesis and Generation premiums are going to pay about 2.4% annualized fees divided by 12, so on a monthly basis, and everybody else is 3%. That is now aligned with all our competitors, even though they provide much less than we actually do. And we released an amazing article earlier today, which I encourage all of you guys to read. Maybe we can link it down below in the comments of the powwow. And that explains it in a very clear and visual way, how the fees work, how does it compare to other people, and what is the value that, more importantly, Thematics at SwissBorg bring to you. The second very exciting piece of news is that more Thematics are about to come. The next one is coming in the next 3 weeks. So the first week of October, and the one after a couple of weeks later. So we're really trying to ramp up now the amount of Thematics they're going to bring out every time, with a very strong narrative behind, understanding why we're doing it, what's the value add for our users. And we're very excited that now, with all the technology in place that we built over the last 6 months, that we're now able to execute in a way that we'd like to. And so it means that many new changes are going to come. We're going to onboard many new ecosystems. Tokens that are not previously available at SwissBorg will be available through the Thematics. And the first one, as mentioned, is in the next 3 weeks. We're also going to do some very cool stuff with other communities, other key thought leaders in the industry, and really try and add value, make Thematics something that's much more than just a token, a bundle of tokens. Really a unique product that doesn't exist anywhere else in the ecosystem of crypto. And really what we're building here is going towards that line. So I'm really, really excited. I'm sure that I'll be back in the coming weeks with much more detailed information. But all I can say is that the SwissBorg autumn is about to start. The fees is now the beginning, and we have so many cool news that can come over the next couple of days and weeks on Thematics and beyond.
Thank you so much, Daniel. I'm really looking forward to using these Thematics and the fee decrease. I'm sure that will make a lot of people happy. But now we're going to be talking about how we're improving the hero score, because we got a lot of feedback and we're going to be acting on it. And without further ado, the man who's going to be acting on all of that feedback, Ivan, take it away.
Let's do a little bit of summary of what the Hero Score program was, right? The philosophy really is around strengthening the SwissBorg ecosystem by rewarding active and loyal community members. We want to celebrate every positive action that you take in your wealth management journey. It had really 3 main components. That one is around buy and holds, especially centered around CHSB. Another one is around active use of products. And lastly, loyalty. We want to celebrate every single user that has joined us, and we would like every single user to stay with us for as long as possible. In total, 57% of the total points are directly connected to the CHSB utility, making really this a super strong tool for our growth of our beloved token. We launched for the Hero Score program, we launched season 1 a couple of months ago, and we received a lot of feedback, and there were some shortcomings in terms of user experience. Probably the main shortcoming was around the fact that it was a season. It was a limited amount of time, and people had to be paying attention to the social media, to your emails and so on, so that they could follow up what was sort of the little quest and what they needed to do. On top of that, once the season ended, there is this sort of like it was perceived as disincentivizing the proper behavior of our users with respect to wealth management, right? And then the last one is it was difficult to bring clarity about what happens once the season stops? Are we going to continue to gain points? Or what is the number of points that we have? And so, and lastly, there was the Hero Score program was a little bit disconnected from some of our products, and we want to make sure that there is a strong connection with each of the products that we're bringing forwards within the ecosystem. Regarding, let's talk about solutions. So the first is that there will no longer be seasons, right? We're going to constantly be measuring the Hero Score, celebrating every positive action that you take within your wealth management journey. So there will be no need to follow up on emails, on social media, and so on to start collecting points. It will be easier as well to explain for us to you how you gain points. We will constantly be tracking absolutely everyone. So if you join our ecosystem after the invitation was sent, it's no longer a problem. You will just start collecting points once you begin doing positive actions in your wealth management journey. The last thing is that we're going to connect it really to absolutely all the products that we have, especially the alpha opportunities, and because we want to make sure that alpha, as well as just like the Hero Score program, is really community centric. So we'll have for the top participants, we will have a private channel where a lot of the discussions and interesting topics are going to be discussed with respect to alpha. Let's talk a little bit more about the alpha private group. We strongly believe that this group is going to help us with these 4 topics that are listed here. One is maximize the value of our beloved token, leverage the collective wisdom of top wealth managers within the ecosystem. We will also be able to channel through this space a lot of the financial education information that we are collecting, that we're putting together. And we're going to have a constant discussion with every member here so as to understand, 1, the value of it, and 2, get feedback on that topic. And then lastly, of course, listen to your investment preferences and try to tailor the future investment opportunities to your life. Okay, very quickly, what to expect in the coming weeks. We're going to take a snapshot of the designated top 1,000 heroes. We're going to send a communication via in-app and email so that you get an invitation to the group, and then once the invitation gets to you, you will have all the details on how to follow up on this initiative.
Thank you so much, Ivan. I'm really looking forward to the next steps of the Hero Score, and I really think that we can take this to the next level. But right now, I'm going to go over a little social media update. I just wanted to say a big thank you, because in the last weeks and months, we've been able to boost our social media impressions and followers by a whopping 41%. And that is enormous. And that's thanks to you guys who is really staying around all of our social media posts, commenting, discussing, sharing, retweeting. So definitely a big thank you for this. And also a massive thank you to Dan. I'm not going to make you community member of the week because you've already been too many times, but I would like to thank you for the comment that you've done. We've shared it internally and it really made a lot of people happy. Just all the love that was posted under it. The context is that we had a BTC strategy that was supposed to pay out 4.5%, but we actually managed internally to get 6.6%, and we didn't keep any of it. We pushed it all onto the community that trusted us with their BTC. And this is something that we're going to be doing in the future, obviously. But it's not it wasn't my decision. I don't want to take any credit here. It's the team at SwissBorg who did all of this. And I would like just to thank the community for all the love that they've been showing for this. It's not us, it's really you guys. And keep doing what you do. You're amazing. Thank you.
CH is being data. It's pretty much the same, a little bit less than last week. So cast your vote and check what will be the community score. Orgers, another week, and it's great to see so much things that are built in the pipeline, how these beautiful times will enable us to really train ourselves like athletes to become wealthy and healthy and really win the current next cycle that's about to happen. I really hope that these tips as well for you, the setting up your goals and trying to look at a long-term perspective will help you. You can look at 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. There's no limit to that. And how do you build your wealth? How do you compound it to really have that true true vision, the Borger vision, in order to be financial free. This is the best thing that I wish to all of you guys. And when you get there, is really about wealth accumulation and giving back to the others. As you guys know, as always, be wealthy, be healthy, love our CHSB and our equity. Take care, guys. Bye.
Through SwissBorg, all assets will have a fiat gateway. And here is the thing.
Premium features gives you zero fee trading.
It's an amazing fiat gateway.